Hi everyone. Today we are introducing the new topic and it is in organic chemistry. The topic is hydrocarbons. Before starting with hydrocarbons, hydrocarbons are organic compounds and organic compounds are made up of carbon. So all organic compounds contain carbon as an element present bonded with itself or with other elements like sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, halogen. So whenever carbon is forming bond with itself and with other elements like sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, halogen, then those compounds are called organic compounds. So mostly carbon forms organic compounds except some of the compounds like carbonates, oxides, alloys, and cyanide salts, they form organic compounds. So first organic compound which we are discussing here today is hydrocarbons. So as you see the name suggests the organic compound made up of only hydrogen and carbon. So those compounds are called hydrocarbons. So before starting with hydrocarbons, carbon has very unique property of catenation. And what is catenation? Self-linkage. So carbon is the only element in periodic table which has tendency to form bond with itself and to form long chains of carbon. So that property is called catenation. Then carbon is tetravalent, means its valency is 4. So carbon, if we know the atomic number, so atomic number of carbon is 6. So if I write its electronic configuration, it is 2, 4. So when it is 2, 4, carbon needs 4 electrons to attain nearest gas configuration of neon, that is stable gas configuration. Stable gas configuration. So either carbon has to lose 4 electrons or to gain 4 electrons to attain, this is another stable gas configuration, helium. So carbon either loses 4 electrons or gains 4 electrons, but energetically this is not possible. So what happens? The carbon has tendency to share electrons, to form bonds with itself and with other elements. So that formation sharing of electrons, which we have done already in bonding. So sharing of electrons is known as covalent bonding. So covalent bonding we have already discussed in our previous video. So please check the video and learn about the bonding, different types of bonding. So sharing of electrons is known as covalent bonding. So carbon forms covalent bonds by sharing electrons with itself and or with other elements like sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, halogen. So now I'll start with hydrocarbon, the simplest organic compounds. So carbon forms bond with hydrogen by sharing electrons. So if I give you this Lewis dot structure or electronic structure, so we all know hydrogen has 1 valence electrons and carbon has 4 valence electrons. So what happens is carbon shares 1 electron with 1 hydrogen. But what about the other electrons? So carbon needs 4 hydrogen to attain stable configuration. So this is hydrogen electron, this is hydrogen electron, this one. So carbon is forming bond, covalent bond with 4 hydrogens by sharing electrons. So hydrogen has attained 2 electrons. This hydrogen has attained 2 electrons by sharing electrons with carbon. Same thing with this hydrogen, this hydrogen. And now carbon is forming, has 8 electrons by sharing 4 electrons with 4 hydrogen. So we need 4 hydrogen. So this bond is called covalent bond, that is sharing of electrons. So carbon forms the simplest hydrocarbon CH4, or we write it this way, CH4, which is known as simplest hydrocarbon is methane. Okay, so this is the simplest way we show. So there are, when we talk about hydrocarbons, so hydrocarbons, there are many hydrocarbons. So the simplest one I have already told you, that is methane. So there are certain rules which we need to follow to know the different types of hydrocarbons. So the first hydrocarbon, the simplest hydrocarbon is methane, which contains one carbon. When there are two carbon atoms, two carbon, then it is eth. When it is three carbon atoms, then it is prop. And if it is four carbon atoms, then but. So now each carbon atom needs to complete its stable configuration. So this carbon is already bonded with another carbon atom. So it has to form 3 bonds with hydrogen. Similarly, what about this? Hydrogen, hydrogen. So carbon is attaining its tetravalency. Tetravalency means carbon is attaining its octet by sharing 4 electrons with hydrogen. So when we have this type, so as you see, single bond, all are single bond. So we will classify hydrocarbons into different types, but to name the hydrocarbons, we use these terms: meth for 1 carbon, eth for 2 carbon atoms, prop for 3 carbon atoms, but for 4 carbon atoms. For 5 carbon atoms, we use pent, then hex, then hep, then octane, oct, then nonane. So that's how we do the naming. So we will tell you more about this later. So there are 3 types of hydrocarbons: alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. So alkane is, the general formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. Alkenes is CnH2n and alkyne is CnH2n minus 2. So where N is 1, 2, 3 number of carbon atoms. Okay. So first is alkane. We will discuss about first. So the first hydrocarbon is alkanes. And as I told you, its general formula is CnH2n plus 2, where N is number of carbon atoms, where it starts from 1, 2, 3, and so on. So if I see if N is 1, so then CH4. When N is 2, so it is C2H6. When it is C3 carbon atoms, C3H8. C4H10. Yes. So if I take this, as I said, 1 carbon atom meth, 2 carbon atom eth, 3 carbon atoms prop, 4 carbon atoms, but. So but in alkanes we use suffix, and that suffix is ane. So in each chain we add ane, so it's methane, ethane, propane, and butane. Now alkanes have one single bond. So what is that? I'll tell you about it in the next video. Thank you so much.